Hi Ria, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm absolutely fine, thank you. So, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yes, sir, sure. So, hello, sir. Good morning, sir. Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for giving me wonderful opportunity to tell me something myself. I
Hmm.
would you like to start with my name. My name
Hmm.
is Sapna Venkatrao Patle. I am from Nagpur.
Okay.
I have completed my 10th and 12th and currently completed my engineering from Tulsiram Gaikwad Patil.
Hmm.
And My hobbies are listening to music and traveling. My
Hmm.
strengths are I'm a self-motivated and I'm a hard worker. My
Hmm.
technical skill are C, C++, HTML, CSS, and manual testing. I know about this functional testing and non-functional testing and sanity testing and smoke testing also. And I am interested in software testing because I have started my software testing. So I love finding of bugs, and I love to check the quality of product to provide the stakeholder. And
Hmm.
it was a new field for me as a fresher. And I believe I good fit for any certain technology for your company. That all about me, sir. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So, when you have to introduce yourself, you can avoid telling about 10th and 12th. You can just tell about the graduation that you have done and the uh, experience with respect to
Okay.
testing. Do you do manual testing? Do you do test automation? How do you start your day? Like when you start your day, you might be checking your emails. Like if you have received any important email
Okay.
from client or customer or the stakeholder of your company, is it any news that has been shared by the HR team in the maybe newsletters are being shared and all those things. And then you can also check your emails about the defects logged. For example, you would have logged the defect on
Okay, sir.
Wednesday. So on Thursday or Friday, you can check an email if you have got any email of the update of the status update of that particular defect, whether the developer is working on that defect or he
Right,
might
sir.
would have discarded that defect, then you would have to go and collaborate with them. So this is how you can explain your, you can include your day-to-day activities in your introduction itself. And then you can also tell that you are writing test scenarios, you are taking part in the agile meetings, agile ceremonies. Then you are having a discussions with business analysts, project managers in the requirement grooming meetings. And then you are also doing execution of the
Okay,
test
sir.
cases. This is how you have to tell the, along with the introduction, the daily activities that you are doing in a nutshell, right? Is
Okay,
this
sir.
clear?
Sir, as a fresher or
Mhm.
yes,
If
sir,
you
it is
are a
clear.
fresher, okay, so you are not working in any
Yes.
company right now, right?
Yes, right, sir. I'm doing the internship.
Okay, so in the internship, you can tell, so you would have some project experience in the internship as well. So that project experience you can tell. You can also tell the college related projects that you have done if they are pertaining to software testing. Okay, now coming to the second question, if they are
Okay,
not
sir.
pertaining to the software testing, then you can tell something about the courses, about the certifications that you have done so far, or why you are passionate about software testing. So you were telling that you love to find bugs, right? So they might tell you, they might ask you which bug
Yes,
you have
sir.
recently found out. Then you have to share some of your
Okay.
testing experience. Maybe in any website, any e-commerce, investment banking domain website, if you have found any bug, so you can just share your screen and showcase them that, okay, this was the bug that I have found. So they will be highly impressed because you have already started real-time testing, right?
Okay, sir.
And don't worry about the bugs at the
Yes, sir.
initial stage. You can get a good GUI related issue as well. For example, let's take an example. If a Myntra application is not having some kind of UI distorted in some particular browser, so you can showcase that. Let's see, this is what I have
Yes, sir.
found a
GI,
bug.
GI testing, we are interact with directly user, right? So,
Hmm. Yes, yes. So when you are testing means you are directly uh, testing as an end user, right? So you can tell them
yes,
that
sir.
I was using this particular application because I am passionate about doing testing. So I have found this kind of bug. Right? So this is a, and then you can,
Okay, sir.
if you would have also communicated with that particular team, Mindra team or Amazon team for those bugs. So you can also tell them the email chain that you have found and you have raised a bug to them. So this will be very impressive if you are a fresher, right?
Okay, sir. Right, sir.
Okay. Anything else you would like to ask? What one should cover in the introduction?
Uh, what, sir? Can I repeat? I'm not getting your
Okay.
question.
So let's say in a real-time interview, you get this question. Tell me something about yourself. So are you clear with the answer that you have to give from your side?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Great. Fine. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this is a scenario,
Uh,
right?
okay.
This is
Right,
a,
sir.
yeah, this is an FRD. You are aware about FRD, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In the FRD, it is mentioned that you have an upload file feature which needs to be tested. Okay, you have got only this much requirement. Upload file feature tested. Okay. Now, while testing the above requirement, mention all the test scenarios for testing. So you have to tell me what all test scenarios you will perform. Tell me on a very high level, right? How will you test this particular functionality?
So first I'm verify the uploaded file.
Hmm.
Then I'm unique test ID.
Hmm.
First I'm test cases. We are write to the negative test cases.
Hmm.
Uh, we click on the uploaded file, clickable or not.
Hmm.
If clickable, so accepted result will be passed.
Okay, so this thing that you are telling, no, that are test cases, right? You need to tell the
Yes, sir.
test scenarios. Test cases are what? See, again, this is a
How
good
to test?
question. Yeah,
Yes,
this
sir.
is a good question. What is the difference between test scenario and test case? Test case are
Yes.
detailed level documents where you will document expected result, actual result, test steps. You will also document the test case ID, prerequisite, test steps, test data, all those things. While test scenario is a single line on a very high level.
Single line. Sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Just verify the uploaded file,
Hmm.
and second is verify the good internet. So because uploaded file most important in
Hmm.
that, uh, and then all about that.
Hmm. Okay. Now, did you read this requirement? Right? It says upload file feature needs to be tested. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, I told you to give me the test scenarios, but in order to give the test scenarios, you should be very clear with the requirement, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Do you think this requirement is 100% complete?
Sir, no, sir.
That's what, yes. So this is what you have to tell in an interview as well, right? They will give
Okay,
you
right, sir.
any open-ended requirement, but for testing you need to have a detailed requirement. For example, in this particular requirement, the file size, how much size of files can be uploaded, that is
I
missing. For example, they haven't mentioned whether it is 1 GB file that you can upload or whether it is 4 GB file is the maximum limit that you can upload, which is the then which is the what is the minimum limit of the file that you can upload. That is also not mentioned, right? So in an interview also
okay.
you have to be very curious about what things they are asking to you, right? This is
Right, sir.
intentionally I mentioned half cooked requirement over here. Okay, one more thing is what type of file format is it supporting? This is a feature, right? Upload file feature. It is not
Yes,
possible
sir.
that it might be possible or it might not be possible that it supports all extensions of format, right? Which are to be supported. For example, text file. For example, uh, Word document, PNG, JPG, zip file, then 7Z, WinRAR file. So which file are we going to support? So you
Yes,
should
sir. Right.
ask these questions in an interview that, see, how will you ask this question in an interview? You can tell, sir, I have just one question before I answer this question. So you'll tell, okay, fine, tell me. So you have to tell, can you please, you have to be polite and you have to ask the straightforward question. Can you please tell me more about this requirement? Like what is the file type? What is the file size? So he'll come to know, yes, she's thinking from 360-degree angle, right?
Sir,
Okay.
but there are no requirement is shared that's why.
No requirements are shared, so you have to in the interview, also in the real time when you start working in a company, you have to approach project managers, you have to approach business analysts and tell them to give you the 100% requirement. Okay, at
Okay,
times it
sir.
is possible when you start the testing you might have only 80 or 90% of requirement, but then you have to follow up with them. Okay, remaining 10% of requirement is also possible. Otherwise, what would happen? Okay, tell me what would happen if you don't have the clear requirement.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what would happen?
So,
Let's
first of
say,
all,
yeah, you have got one particular functionality to test and you don't have proper requirement, right? Then what would happen? What would be the consequence in that?
so I'm firstly I'm exploring the tested in feature
Okay.
firstly, and then I will uh, write the test scenario. First is mm, verify the uploaded file and uploaded or not,
Mhm.
and second is just verify the GB supported or not, 1 GB or 2 GB will be
Okay.
supported or not.
Yeah, but those
And
kind of file size has not been given in the requirement, right? So if you don't
uh,
have the full 100% requirement available with you, what would happen? Ultimately, you won't be able to give the quality or give the bug-free product to them, because tomorrow they might tell that, okay, I forgot to mention it was supposed to, work with 2 GB file as well, but you might would have tested with 1 GB only. So we are making assumptions, right? So that is why
okay, sir.
requirements are required, with 100% of detailing. Is it fine now?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Fine, sir.
So you have to take care. This thing would be done in an interview with you, right? It
Right,
might be,
sir.
but it might not be, but you have to take care. Okay.
Okay, sir.
You have to, don't go for assumptions, right? You have to be dependent on requirements, because if we don't know what is going on in the mind of stakeholders, right? So it is very important to get the requirement clear. Okay. So this is good. But you got the gist of this question, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, now let's come to the second scenario-based question. Okay, again, see, when you are applying for a fresher-based interview, they will ask you mix of both theory as well as real-time scenario-based questions. Okay, so you have to be prepared
Okay,
for
sir.
those things.
Okay, sir.
I'm avoiding theoretical type of questions because those are common. Like you can prepare on what is the difference between smoke and sanity, what is the
Yes, sir.
difference between load and stress testing, what is the difference between regression and retesting. Those things you can prepare. What is the difference
Okay,
between STLC, STLC? Explain V and V model. Okay. Principles
okay,
of
sir.
testing. So you can prepare, you can get idea. And I am sure that you have prepared all those things. We'll
Right.
try to cover more scenario-based questions. Okay. Now coming to
Okay,
this
sir.
question. Okay. And this is a mock interview. Don't worry about anything. Okay. Don't get tensed.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So this is a requirement document. Okay. Now it says upload a file in XLS format. Okay. And you can upload up to 100 MB of file. Okay, now this requirement is clear. It is complete. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, while testing the above requirement, now you started testing this particular requirement. You wrote the test cases. You designed the test cases. Now you have started test case execution. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
in the test case execution, you uploaded this particular file, XLS format with 50 MB. It is working fine. Okay. So you have
Okay.
passed that test case. At the same time, you came up with a new test case in which you tried to upload a file in with XLSX format and the system gets crashed. Okay, now you have raised this particular defect. The developer says testing with XLSX is an invalid scenario because they have mentioned to test only with XLS format. Okay, what will be your response? Will you close the defect? Did you understand the
Sir,
question? Yeah.
I will, okay, so I will check to the product, and I will perform the retesting where which type of defect in found the Excel format.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the
And
format which is not working. XLSX is the format which is not working.
yes, sir. So
Yeah.
I'm developer say that this application will be working or not, and this issue rise the defect, and then we'll submit the bug ticket.
Okay. Yes. So you have raised a defect, right? You have
Yes,
submitted the
sir.
bug. Now,
Yes, sir.
the developer says that testing with XLSX format is an invalid scenario because in requirement it is mentioned to test with XLS format only. Then what will be
Okay,
your
sir.
response?
Mm. First of all, I'm say to the developer to rise the defect, and then we will upload it the Excel format.
Hmm.
And I'm also check with the application,
Okay. Yeah, you have checked, you have
which
tested.
yes, sir, which type of invalid data put it on the developer. So
Mhm.
I'm also see that.
Okay. See, I'll rephrase this question. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, the requirement document, it is mentioned that upload file will work only in XLS format. Okay. Now, while testing this particular requirement, you uploaded one file with XLSX format and the system got crashed. So you raised a defect. You have already submitted a defect. Now the developer says that this is an invalid defect because testing with XLSX is an invalid scenario. Then what will be your response? Will you close the defect? The developer is not going to fix this defect. He is telling like that to you. Then what will be your response?
Sir, mm, I will close the defect.
You will close the defect?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Shall I lock this answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you don't need to close this defect. See, what you can do is in this particular scenario, you can go and speak to business analyst, to the product owners, to the product managers, project managers, or stakeholders, whomsoever is the higher authority. Or in case of you, you can also speak to your team leads, team managers, QA manager, and you can tell them that XLSX format is a type of Excel file only. So it might happen that the requirement might have, in the requirement, you might have to add this particular thing, or you might have to uh, add some kind of validation message that with XLSX format, it will not work. We don't support. This
Okay,
system
sir.
getting crashed is not at all acceptable, right? Some
Right,
validation,
sir.
some, genuine validation message, some error message you will have to keep, right? So that
Right.
the system handles it gracefully. Never ever take the decisions just based on what developers are telling to you. Okay, what if it is your product? What if it is actually your product only, right? It is your project, and the client is going to rely on you. They are trusting you that you will be giving them a bug free product, but you have found that scenario in which it is getting crashed, right? So it's fine. It's not a part of requirement. So you have to collaborate. You have to discuss with the other team members in your team.
Other team members. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Okay. Never ever close this kind of defects. And then if they tell you to close the defect, then what you will do? Let's say you went to the QA manager. The QA manager went to the project manager. They are telling that you have to close the defect. Then you what you will do? You will close the defect, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But at the time of closing the defect, also enter one single line of comment, maybe in the Jira or in the defect management tool in this ticket, that as discussed with QA manager, as discussed with project manager.
Sir, I am discussed with project manager and project owner also.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
after discussion with them, you are closing this defect because they have told you that this is not a valid scenario. Okay. This is how you
Sir, we
have
are
to.
discuss about the sprint planning meeting also, and we are
Yes. You can discuss about this kind of defects in the defect pricing meeting, right?
yes,
When they
sir.
are
Right.
working on which defect they have to fix. What is the
Yes,
severity
sir.
of
Daily basis meeting we are discuss about that defect.
it? Okay. And one more thing you can do is you can also tell them, you can also request them to close the defect, right?
Right, sir.
Okay. And you can tell them, okay, sir, you feel this is not a valid defect. So can you please uh, tell me the comment? And if they are, if it's a kind of a meeting and screen is being shared, they have the control. So you can tell them, okay, fine, sir, please go ahead and close the defect, right? So
Right,
this
sir.
is how you have to approach in this particular scenario. What do you know about internationalization testing? Why it is done?
Sir, because of international testing, we are checking to the we are supported to international languages.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are some international languages to Spain and Chinese and English will be globalization testing also. We are checking to the our application able to or not will international languages supported or not.
Okay. And why is it done?
Because of many user we are um, using the international personnel also and Indian person also. That's why it must.
Okay. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. What is
Okay.
internationalization testing and why is internationalization testing done, right? So please put your answers in the comments of this video. And once you are done with the comments, with the commenting on this particular question, then you can further watch this video for the answer as well. So why is this testing done? So I'll tell you that as well. Okay, just scroll it up. Okay. Why is it done? Because we want to ensure the proper encoding of characters when a language is converted to another language. For example, you were testing on some language which was in English language. Then it is
Yes, sir.
converted to Japanese or Chinese. So you will test that proper characters have been converted or not. Then you will also check if the search query or string is not supported with the targeted language, right? So you will have
Right,
to
sir.
check if it is not supporting with the targeted language, then the software should not crash or it should not work improperly, right? The look and feel of the
Right.
font and the font size are rendered properly. For example, in English, in Japanese, in Chinese, the characters are written in different languages, right? If it's an
Yes, sir.
Arabian
Look like
language,
a
then
good fell.
right, the font and all
Right.
those things will change. Then it is
Right.
also done to attract audiences globally by providing convenience on using the application in their preferred languages. For example, if there is a Japanese person, he is not comfortable with English language. So if an application or if a software is converted in his language, so he would be able to use it appropriately,
Right.
right? So that's how it is done. Okay. Okay. Right. Now consider a scenario where you are using Amazon.com, right? It's an e-commerce based application. You are aware about it, right?
Okay.
You would have purchased so many products from Amazon. Now, after adding some products
Yes.
to the cart, right? Now, after adding some products to the cart, when you go for selecting the amount, right? Whenever you are, selecting the amount, so let's say your amount, the product which you have purchased is of 1000 rupees. Okay. There was a discount of 10%, which as per the website or as per the coupon code that you have applied over there, right? That should be there.
Right, sir.
So 1000 uh, is the total price, and to that 10% discount, it will be reduced to some kind of 900 rupees, right? But when you
Right,
are
sir.
when you are doing the payment, so it's not showing 900 to you. It is still showing 1000. So that means your coupon code or the discount is not getting applied in the Amazon.com website, right? So what would be the severity and what would be the priority of this defect?
So, severity, priority, severity, it is the always related to the um, which getting effort. Um, we are functional severity. We are checking to the functionality of your application, and severity, which means the getting the of effort because of your defect, and priority, we are checking to the quickly fixes the bug.
Hmm. Okay. So in an interview, if you get the question like what is severity, what is priority, explain severity, explain priority, then you have to explain like this, right? So it was a good
Yes,
answer.
sir.
But when someone gives you a scenario and if they ask you what is the severity and what is the priority, then you have to tell them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what is the
So,
severity with respect to this scenario? Yeah.
high severity, it is the you're telling that we are 900 withdrawals the money.
Uh,
It is a high surety because and low surety, we are enter the amounts that.
okay. So you are telling it's a high severity bug, right?
Yes, sir.
And what did you tell about low severity?
Low severity, it means the for example, Amazon logo. So
Hmm.
if you with the spelling mistake will be
Okay.
high severity.
Okay. So you are
And
giving an example of low severity, right? Okay.
yes, sir.
But uh, if they ask you to give the scenario of low severity, low priority, then you have to tell Amazon and all these things. But what would be the severity and priority of this particular defect? So you have answered very rightly the severity, it is high severity. What about the priority?
So priority, we are quickly fixes the bugs, or what we are why we need to
So priority will be high for this scenario, right? Because
yes,
instead of
yes,
1000, sorry, instead of 900, it is showing you 1000. So discount or coupon code is again
1000.
getting applied on the payment screen, right? Simple.
Right.
Okay. 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 Now there is a functionality, right? Which you have been testing since 3 months, right? For example, when that functionality got released, so initial 2 months, initial 2.5 months, you were getting a lot of defects, right? Now it has been 3 months.
Right,
Now
sir.
you're not getting any
Because of
defects.
it is a starting point of your application develop. That's why.
Yes, yes, right. Now, after 3 months, based on the test cases that you have written, you are not getting much kind of defects with respect to the test cases you have written, right? So, what do you think? Why you are not getting defects?
What, sir? Can you repeat your
Okay,
question?
okay. Now, let's say there is a functionality which was when it was introduced. For example, it was introduced in September, right? So when you were testing in September, October, you were getting a lot of defects. You had written, you had documented, you had designed test cases, and when you were executing the test cases, you were getting a lot of defects with respect to that functionality. Okay. Now, after 3 months, you're not getting those kind of defects. You're not getting defects at all because everything has been tested, right? With respect to the test case that you have documented. Now, why do you think now you're not getting any defect? Earlier, you were getting a lot of defects.
So, sir, because of we are testing the core functionality,
Mm,
each and initial part we are getting the lot of defects on bugs, and
mm,
then we are working on our application, and we are checking to the core functionality and basic functionality.
mm.
That's why we are rising um, mm, the bugs.
Okay. So, so you have found the bugs, right? You have documented test cases, you have found the bugs. After 3 months, you are not getting more bugs because those test cases have already been executed, right? Now you will have to think
Executed.
something out of the box. You will have to update your test cases, right? There is a principle of software testing, pesticide paradox. That means the same test cases, with the help of same test cases, you cannot get the defect again until unless some regression issue has been introduced, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
will have to keep on updating your test cases. That is what the core uh, core responsibilities there of a software tester.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then once you will,
Each test cases we are execute. That's why we are
yeah,
not found the any bugs and defect.
yeah, the same test cases every day, if you will execute them, at the initial stage you will find a defect, right? But after a period of
Right, sir.
time, those are repetitive same test cases, so you're
Same
not going
test.
to get any new defect based on them. You will have to update your test cases. You will have to again think from an end user point of view, how will they test this particular thing, how will they use this particular functionality, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Ria, I'm done with the interview. Thank you so much for coming on our channel. Do you have any questions
Uh,
for us? Yeah.
yes, sir. I have one question. So,
Yes, yes.
सर मैं अपने आप में क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट मतलब अभी आपने रिव्यू बता सकते हो कि मतलब मैं क्या इम्प्रूव कर सकती
So you have to improve on the real time scenario based questions. Let's say आपको कोई scenario मिलता है कि आप इस particular चीज को कैसे टेस्ट करोगे, आप ये फंक्शनलिटी को कैसे टेस्ट करोगे, आप ये फीचर को कैसा टेस्टिंग करोगे. सो उसमें आपको इम्प्रूवमेंट लेकर आना है, राइट? यू हैव टू थिंक फ्रॉम ऑल द एंगल. और and you have to understand what is the question. Interviewer is asking what question, right? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपको वो क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि आप सिर्फ एक एग्जाम्पल दो, तो उसमें आप एग्जाम्पल दीजिए, जैसे सेवरिटी प्रायोरिटी का. अगर आपको वो सामने से सिनेरियो दे रहे हैं और वो पूछ रहे हैं कि इसमें आप बताइए सेवरिटी क्या है, प्रायोरिटी क्या है, तो वो आप बताइए, राइट? इट डिपेंड्स ऑन इंटरव्यू टू इंटरव्यू. एवरी हर हर क्वेश्चन है ना, हर क्वेश्चन का एक यूनिक आंसर होता है, राइट? सो
ओके सर राइट सर
यू टेक योर टाइम इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द क्वेश्चन, नो वरीज. आप इंटरव्यूअर को बोल सकते हैं, सर गिव मी 30 सेकेंड्स और 1 मिनट टू थिंक, है ना? फिर आप वापस से भी उनको रिक्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं, सर एक बार वापस से आप क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. आप क्वेश्चन को समझिए, डेफिनेटली आपके पास वो आंसर है. आई एम श्योर यू आर हैविंग गुड नॉलेज ऑन सॉफ्टवेयर टेस्टिंग, बट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन, यू हैव टू लिसन टू द क्वेश्चन एंड देन यू हैव टू कम अप विद द आंसर, है ना?
ओके सर सर मतलब आपको मतलब कॉन्फिडेंस बढ़ाना चाहिए या आपको लगा होगा कि लो कॉन्फिडेंस है मेरे में लाइक
यस, आई
एज
थिंक.
इंटरव्यूअर वी आर ऑब्जर्विंग दैट्स वे वी आर आस्किंग
राइट, राइट. सो थोड़ा बहुत आप नर्वस लग रहे थे, बट स्टिल इट इज बेटर, सी, कंपेयर टू द अदर पीपल विथ whom आई एम टेकिंग द इंटरव्यू, राइट? सो यू आर अ फ्रेशर, आपके पास यू हैड गुड प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स, यू हैव गुड कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स. डोंट गेट nervous, right? You are confident,
राइट सर
you have you know uh, you are able to speak. right? But now you
Sir,
have to
this is
see.
my first interview. That's why a lot of nervousness. That's
Yeah, yeah. So don't
But thank you
worry.
so much, sir, for wonderful platform to provide me.
Okay, no worries, no worries. I'm happy to help, and thank you so much for coming on our channel, right? And
Thank
all
you
the
so
best
much, sir.
for your career, right?
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.